Hello and welcome back to the channel, covering the G4 TV layoffs again. A little bit of a different aspect though. Today we're going to talk about Frosk and her reaction to the layoffs. Now it's interesting that Frosk and Adam Sessler, two of the people who are definitely toxic and created a lot of the shitstorm around G4 TV, are two people that made it out of these layoffs without any issues. And that's unfortunate in my opinion, but this is often what happens. The top talent gets to skate on through, and the other people who had nothing to do with their antics are the ones that have to pay the price for it. That is definitely what happened in this case. As we all know, G4 TV allowed one of their major talents in Frosk to go on air and to go into an epic rant and basically vilify the majority of the fans. Now, G4 TV was already kind of a dead idea in my opinion. Like, you know, G4 TV made sense back when we only had cable networks and we didn't really have the internet. We didn't have YouTube. And the only way you got gaming information was, well, basically from gaming magazines, and that was it. There were no gaming websites. There were no gaming YouTube. There was no Twitch streams. There was none of this stuff, but now there is. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, well, honestly, what were they thinking? They basically just rolled out the same old G4 kind of TV stuff that they had before. It wasn't new. It wasn't innovative. And they expected to somehow compete against, well, individuals with practically little or no overhead, as this huge operation producing the exact same content that these smaller operators produce. I don't know if it was the smartest business strategy from the beginning, but I guess that's a little beside the point. But we know how the fallout occurred then, because G4 allowed Frost to go on a rant, and then they supported her in this rant. They doubled down on it. And obviously, they lost a lot of viewership as a result, as you've seen in my previous video. And then we had this come out. This, due to unforeseen circumstances, all G4 streams today have been canceled, but we will return with our regularly scheduled content tomorrow. So they basically had so many people get laid off that for whatever reason, they couldn't continue their streams. I think it's probably because the people who were still there probably just didn't feel a lot like, hey, let's do a stream right now. Let's film a show when my friend just got laid off. It's very difficult. And honestly, like, just another example of G4 not thinking things through. They thought, yeah, hey, we're just going to pull half the people out. We're going to fire them. You people are going to do your thing, though. Surprisingly, yeah, those other people were like, I don't even, my head is scrambled. I can't do this, right? Yeah. I understand that, and I empathize with them. And if they didn't want to go on and do a show, 100%, that there's nothing wrong with them saying, yeah, I can't do this right now. But of course, then we have Frosk, who likes to chime in on stuff, and she's such an empathetic person. She's such a warm-hearted, caring person. Let's get her take on this. Let's play some games, yo. I made it. Yeah. I can really feel the empathy coming from her. I can really feel that she feels for her fellow employees who did not survive this round of layoffs. Yeah, that's really what comes across. Now, keep in mind that, you know, throughout the last, say, year, when certain game companies or whatever have gone under and people have been let go, then when people say, well, you know, go broke or something like that, then a lot of people chime in about how, you know, hateful people are, how they're being terrible, bad people because people lost their jobs and that's not okay. Now, these same people who are lamenting people losing their jobs have previously been on record saying, you know, oh, well, you know, when basically people who were, say, blue collar people lost their jobs related to something, they've said stuff like learn to code, right? Things like that. Or, you know, oh, well, you know, that sucks for you, too bad, who cares, right? It's kind of that kind of attitude. And now, of course, the roles are reversed and there's still no empathy, right? Like, don't get me wrong, like both sides, they don't really have a lot of empathy for the other side. Now, you know who I have empathy for? I do have empathy for the people who lost their jobs, who didn't honestly do anything wrong. They weren't a participant in this rant. They were victims of it. But I will say this, maybe next time when someone goes on a rant at your, job and pretends to represent everyone at that company, instead of being silent, maybe you make a noise and say, this person doesn't represent me. Like, I think that what this person said is reprehensible, and I think that whatever this person was responding to is also reprehensible. There's no two wrongs don't make a right. That's a perfectly fine stance to take in this case. But obviously, like, there was absolutely no remorse in what happened here. Like, nobody seemed to. When you abuse your fans for, going on, well, I don't know if it was going on for really a year, but when you basically, when you attack your fans and decide that you don't need them as fans anymore, then don't be surprised when this happens. And the other thing you shouldn't be surprised about is when, they don't have any empathy for you when you inevitably lose your job. And that's what's going to happen. But there is a lot of like stuff like this. Oh my God. People not really surprised at all that this happened. If there's anything on Frosk's. You gotta love heel versus babyface. I survived because F my colleagues, right? Thinking of others first always. Highlighting that Frosk is really just a self-centered narcissist and doesn't really care or empathize about others, right? This is just, again, I talked about this yesterday. This is just who she is, right? And you can see replies, wow, garbage, she doesn't care about anyone but herself. Glad you're getting called out for this tweet. Very low class of you. And then this one is, well, on brand, right? And true enough, it is very on brand. This one here from Jeremy Prime, perfect. Someone shoveling shit over the wall, opinions, throwing their opinions out to the internet, and then when the internet throws them back, help misogyny. The internet is like nature. It always wins. Fantastic. Yellow flash. The fact that at G4 TV, keeping you and Adam shows that it's only a matter of time until they do go bust. You're bad for business. Yeah, and then this one. You'd think they'd learn after the first incident when someone needs to go. If I ran a business and someone pulled a stunt that pushes customers away, I'd get rid of them ASAP. Anyways, that is the coverage of Frosk's response to layoffs of her colleagues and friends. Clearly, she is a deeply empathetic person. Wonderful. What a wonderful person. True class act. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, then smash the like, subscribe, and share buttons, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.